Hello, thank you for joining me. It's Monday, and that means it's TFC Mad Monday. This is round 6, and this is from the London Loop. So relatively flat, up Box Hill, down the other side, and back onto the relatively flat. 2 laps this week with intermediates at the top of Box Hill. So only 18 riders showed up, and let's get going. So 3, 2, 1, and let's go. I sat in the pen praying for a nice, sedate, easy rollout, which occasionally happens with these TFC Mad Monday events, and I was indeed blessed with a nice, chill rollout at around 300 watts, which for anyone who has done Swift races will know is pretty chill when it comes to rollouts. So everyone sat together, and this all stayed together through most of London until we turned onto the bridge, where I decided that just for a bit of a laugh, we'd put a dig in and see who would come with me. Obviously it came to absolutely nothing 5 kilometers into the race, but I can't say I was surprised by that. I drew one of the Team ART guys with me, but that was it. As we went through the subway tunnels, everything came back together, so no excitement to be had here. And through the other side of the subway tunnels, this brought us out to the start of Box Hill at 7 kilometers. So my plan going into this, I knew if I could keep my heart rate below 190, I could manage to get up relatively okay. And I reckoned I could probably do that by keeping a power of around 300 watts for the around 8 to 10 minutes of the climb. So we maybe started a little bit too hot, but we sat around 305, 320 and tried to keep the heart rate down. And as we move forward, we are at about 400, 500 meters into the climb, and you can start to see, if you look at the list on the right hand side, some gaps open up after the first 6, and this is going to create the selection overall for this race, which is going to include Martinelli of Italy and Douglas of ART is going to come with us, and the gaps will start to open up elsewhere. And as we get up towards the business ends of the climb, you can see this group has now been reduced to 4: Douglas, Martinelli and Holbriggs of Team TFC, and these 4 are going to be the ones to make the race. Really, everyone else now around 20 seconds behind, and it's been hard going, but the heart rate's at 188. You can see from the power graph at the bottom that we've held fairly consistent power. I'm quite happy with that. And as we approach the top here, you see Douglas and Martinelli starting to push on. The banner is just around the corner, just past this left-hander, and then we get a little bit of flat, and then it's another big pointy hill to go up. So you can see Douglas of ART has opened up, and he is going, and we will go with him, and we've just pulled round and into second place with Holbriggs of 3rd of Team TFC. And skipping forward only 100 meters or so, we get to the biggest lump, the steepest one anyway, and Martinelli drops the hammer on the 9% section, and he starts to pull out a gap, and he does it quite effectively as well. Nobody really chasing him. I try to put down a small effort, but not enough to push me into the red. I don't really believe that even he thought he was going to stay away for the remaining 20 kilometers, but a fair effort nonetheless. Somebody give that man the combativity prize. On the downhill section, our group was whittled to 2 as Douglas of ART disappeared, and it was just me and Holbriggs. We quickly smashed the pedals going up the escalator, and that brought us all together in our little group of 3, and that would be us until we got around to Box Hill again. And here we are back round at the hill. So there've been lots of toing and froing on the flatter parts through London about trying to see who's going to take a turn at the front, who's going to sandbag and sit on the group. Holbriggs was fairly open and said he's not going to take too many turns. He had teammates behind, and that was fair enough. Martinelli and I, on the other hand, were a bit cat and mousing, and it reduced the gap to the pack behind down to 9 seconds from almost 25 at one point. So here we are back on Box Hill for the second time, and I really didn't want to take it to a sprint with Martinelli. He's beat me too often in a sprint, and didn't fancy it. You can see the chasing pack behind, like they are really close. They absolutely have us in their sights. So let's go up the hill. My plan for Box Hill remained much the same: keep the hearts rate down under 190 and try and sit around 300 watts. Holbriggs putting in a big dig at 4 to 4.5 watts a kilo, and I knew that I wasn't going to blow myself up trying to chase him. I just try and keep the power fairly steady and try to bring him back. Martinelli is still just on my wheel holding 3.3, and then Douglas from the ART team is just another 5 seconds back from there. And Holbriggs was duly reeled in, and as we come across the I Heart Box Hill sign, the gap to Martinelli, who's the big challenger, just started to open up a little bit. 1 second, 2 seconds, and I kept on pushing. The heart rate was at 187. It was pretty close to the limit, but doing a little bit more than Martinelli, it opened to 3 seconds, 4 seconds, and I could see his watts per kilo dropping now, 2.5, 2.4, as the gap just opened up and opened up. And it just spurred me on to keep the pace up at 6 seconds. I knew that he was now on his limit. He was as good as he could get. And we were just starting to pull away and open up the gap on Box Hill and try and hold it at around 3 watts a kilo. It just kept opening up. And at 10 seconds, that's when you know that that's not just bridgeable with a quick sprint. And as we move to the top of Box Hill, the gap is now 15 seconds to Douglas of the ART team. Martinelli in third, now 17 seconds back. And across the line, that would be how they finished for the intermediates. I take the points. Douglas from ART second and Martinelli third. Next stop was the descent. And the descent concerned me a little because I knew they were a group of 2, they were going to descend a little bit faster than a group of 1, and we also still had this little lump to get over here, the 9-10% little, I don't know what they call it, spike at the top of the hill. And again, you know, seconds can be taken off there, so we knew we had to really hit it pretty hard, and hit it hard we did. 400 or 500 watts up here out the saddle. And just putting everything we had into it. Heart rate is through the roof, but it's fine because I know the descent is coming, and the descent will allow some time to get everything back under control before we hit the last few kilometres of flat. And at the bottom of the descent you can see that Martinelli has already taken about 10 seconds out of us on the descent, so I'm guessing he's got a bit of a weight advantage, or maybe just hit the descent faster than us. Douglas, on the other hand, is way back now, almost 40 seconds back, and it was just going to come down to Martinelli and I, and had about 10 seconds as we hit the flats again. And forward we go, and as we're into the last 500 metres now, Martinelli, the gap has opened back up. He got it to around 10 seconds, but couldn't quite get it under that. And we were just able to cruise the last, half a kilometre across the line, and take the victory for the second week in a row. Fantastic results, really happy. So yeah, thank you for taking the time to watch this. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you could hit subscribe. We've hit 100 subscribers, so I will do a video during the week after WTRL. We're going to do a giveaway for one of the cycling books that I have in the collection here. It's been good. Thank you all. If you can hit subscribe, comment down below if you were in the race or if you enjoyed this, and I will pop the results up on screen, and I will see you next time.